Maybe President Trump's first public appearance since the election was called for Joe Biden.
This morning, the president remains strong in his refusal to concede, but President-elect Biden says his transition will continue with or without the Trump administration's support. CBS 2's Aundrea Cline-Thomas joins us here in studio with now on all of this. Aundrea.
Oh, Chris and Mary, the president actually has not spoken out publicly in nearly a week, but he has been tweeting, trying to further his claims of voter fraud without evidence. All while elections officials from various states say things actually went smoothly, especially while having to contend with the pandemic. President and Vice President-elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are continuing with their planned transition, despite the Trump administration blocking them from funding and access to agencies, which includes receiving classified briefings from intelligence officials.
I just think it's an embarrassment, quite frankly. I think it will not help the president's legacy.
In 2016, President Obama welcomed then-President-elect Trump to the White House after Democrats suffered a bitter defeat with closer margins. 4 years later, President Trump continued his false claims of voter fraud, despite many legal challenges being thrown out. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo supporting the president's refusal to concede.
There will be a smooth transition to a second Trump administration. Right.
Tuesday, Vice President Mike Pence met with Senate Republicans on Capitol Hill, many echoing the president's refrain that the election is not over.
I don't think we're going to have an interrupted transition to whoever is the next administration. I think we ought to quit all the hand-wringing and not act like this is extraordinary.
What do we do? Stand up, fight back! Meanwhile, supporters of the Affordable Care Act gathered outside of the Supreme Court. The Trump administration joined 18 states attempting to end the health care law, more commonly called Obamacare, by challenging the constitutionality of the individual mandate that requires people to buy insurance or face a tax penalty.
It does seem fairly clear that the proper remedy would be to sever the mandate provision and leave the rest of the act in place.
Despite the new conservative majority of the Supreme Court, justices seemed unwilling to dismantle the health care law that would remove protections for 20 million people.
I think it's hard for you to argue that Congress intended the entire act to fall.
This as coronavirus cases increase across the country and has caused more than 237,000 deaths. The Supreme Court is not expected to make a ruling until next spring. For years, Republicans have been adamant about dismantling the health care law, but have not provided any details about how to replace it. Chris and Mary.
Aundrea, thank you.